Hi, I'm Marcia Hunt with Hot House Studio. Welcome to the Hot House Gardens. We're going to show you how to do a happy 4th of July Independence Day arrangement today. And all of these flowers came from our own Hot House Gardens. There's lots of hardy garden blooms that probably many of you already have in your garden. And we'll show you how to make a red, white, and blue patriotic arrangement. We're going to start with a stilby. A stilby are these red, almost fireworks looking, little bottle rocket looking flowers. They're gorgeous. They're really hardy. They do well in sun or shade, so I always have a lot in the garden. And the red is in full bloom right now, which is just in time for the 4th of July. So we're going to arrange these in our hands. We're going to make this beautiful arrangement, and I'll show you just how easy it is when you group light colors together and you just hold the stems in your hand. Then you can put it into any vase that you have, and I'll show you a couple different options. So again, we're going to start with the astilbe, probably about 5 or 6 stems, and we're going to group those. We're going to remove the leaves that are below the level of the water line, because in the water over time they'll start to break down, and that will cause your arrangement to prematurely start to wilt or spoil. Then we're going to add some blue jade hostas. These are also just starting to bloom in the garden. Notice that blue in flowers, they call blue flowers, are often a little bit lavender because there are very few truly blue flowers. And this blue jade is just a beautiful color. There's a few blue colored flowers, like some hydrangeas you can get to bloom in blue, delphinium, a couple others. But we're just going to, again, hold them in our hand like this. And then we're going to add this gorgeous cherry red rose. This one is also a hardy garden rose. This one's called Knockout Double Red Rose. I have a lot of these in the garden because they're one of the few hardy roses that blooms virtually all summer long. They're just outstanding, and it's a spray rose, so you usually get multiple heads and multiple blooms on a single stem. And they just group so beautifully. But like all garden roses, lots of thorns, so you just want to be careful when you're handling them. And some of the blooms are fully bloomed, almost ready to be done, but it's always nice to mix in a couple buds so that over the time your arrangement's in the vase, it'll keep blooming. Like that one's just starting to bloom. And again, you're holding these in your hand, but don't hold them too tight because these roses are a little bit thorny. And again, I'm just removing some of this foliage that's going to be below the water. Some of the biggest thorns you can cut off too. And by the way, it helps to have a really nice sharp shears. This is a really great one that we use at Hot House Studio, and it's available in our toolkit that we, oops, I accidentally cut my little one off, but we're going to show you what to do with that a little bit later. But anyway, it's available in our toolkit, which you can buy online at hothousestudio.com, and along with subscribing to our new bloom box. We're so excited about the bloom box. Every 2 weeks or every month you can subscribe to get a box full of fresh, locally grown garden flowers, many right here from Hot House Gardens in Edina, but also from a co-op of 14 fantastic local flower farms. And we get flowers from them all season long for our weddings and events, and now for your bloom box that you can pick up at the studio or have delivered to you, like I said, every couple weeks or every month. So the next thing we're going to do is add to this a little bit of texture and fullness with Lady's Mantle, this gorgeous greenery texture. It's a flower, but it's also more like a foliage. It's just one of those great, they used to call them fillers, but now we call them accent flowers because it's a much nicer way to talk about the flower, because they are so beautiful and lacy. These are also quite hardy, and they last for quite a while. They'll bloom for almost the entire month in summer before they start to fade. So I'm just collaring it with a little bit of that, and then I'm going to show you one of my favorites is hostas. So many people in Minnesota have hostas. Hostas are great. They grow in the shade, one of the few things that does really well in the shade, but they're even better in full sun. But the reason why we're using this one today, not only is it have that beautiful white edge, but this variety is Patriot Hosta. So what could be more perfect for Independence Day, for the 4th of July? So we're just going to collar that. We're going to have some just kind of opening up and inviting you in. So we're going to put some of the larger ones behind. And the nice thing about hosta leaves is you can curl them either down or up. And I change that based on where it is in the arrangement. The one in the back I'm curling up, and the ones on the side and the front I'm kind of pulling down. So it makes a really pretty way to frame the bouquet. All right, so we're almost done. The next thing we're gonna add is I just had a little bit of this darling blue verbena. And verbena is an annual, so I have it in some of my pots here at the Hothouse Gardens, and we're just gonna add, and it tends to grow up toward the sun, so it'll kind of bend over a little bit, but that's fine. That makes it interesting in the vase. We have two shades of it. One's a little bit darker blue, one's a little bit lighter blue. And again, we're going to take the foliage off that's on the stems here. You can do this ahead of time and have all your blooms sitting out on the table just ready to gather, or just do it in your hand as you go, just like I'm doing right here. When we're doing like wedding bouquets, we get everything all ready. We do all the stems, take off all the thorns and all that, and it's just gorgeous. And the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put this beautiful white hydrangea. This is Annabelle. The hydrangeas are just starting to bloom in the garden now. And that gives us like some mass and form and really gives some nice weight to the front of the arrangement. But hydrangeas, if you've ever used those in an arrangement, you know, they're a little picky. They tend to want to droop, especially when it's really hot like it is today. So the trick with using hydrangeas is you have to give it a fresh angled cut, and then you have to dip it in this it's just a pickling spice, alum, and if you dip the stem in that after you cut it, before you put it in the vase, it helps it continue to drink water, and then it won't droop on you. So now we're almost ready. We're going to show you how to put in the vase. First thing we're going to do is cut all the stems off at the same length. We're going to find that hydrangea stem. Make sure we got all the leaves off. And we're going to find that hydrangea stem. It's right here. So I'm going to make a fresh angled cut, dip it in the alum, and then we're going to put it in. You can see how gorgeous it is in the white vase. Both of these unbelievable white vases we're going to have on our website for you to buy here in the next couple days. So those will be in our shop very soon. But we just love these, the texture and the white, and they go everywhere. They're a great gift. You can also do a low full arrangement. And we're just going to cut off the stems a little bit shorter. We're going to put them in the wider lower vase and just let them spread out and breathe a little bit more. And that one's gorgeous too. And a nice giftable vase is, you're going to bring it somewhere, is to just get a gathering vase, which you can get many different places. Works great too. But it's also a neat trick that you can dress it up for this season, in this case with a navy blue bow. And you can tie that around the neck of the vase. The gathering vases work really well for that. And the pièce de résistance is the little flags. Then there's no mistaking what the celebration occasion is. Put it in right here so it's facing the right way. And there you go. Happy 4th of July from Hothouse Studios.